Within 5 to 10 years, the way that the world right now works will be unrecognizable because people who can understand how to think AI first, they will be the leaders in this new world that is coming. AI is the true reflection of human consciousness. So it is picking up data that we produce as human beings. So if we are biased, AI is obviously going to be biased.
What skills are in most demand right now in our AI first workplace? Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the new episode of the Curiosity Code podcast. Today, we're diving into the intersection of artificial intelligence, human potential, and business transformation, exploring how deep tech and deep thinking can unlock massive impact on the real world. Joining us is Manuj Aggarwal, an AI pioneer, innovator, and entrepreneur whose journey has taken him from earning just $2 a day in India to advising Fortune 500 giants like Microsoft and IBM. As the founder of TetraNoodle Technologies, Manuj has led breakthrough AI strategies across healthcare, finance, education, and cybersecurity, helping organizations generate over $500 million in value. He holds 4 patents in AI and machine learning. Manuj is also a deep believer in aligning technology with human psychology, integrating neuroscience, mindfulness, and behavioral science into the way we design solutions and lead teams. Manuj, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I'd like to start from the very beginning. What's interesting about your journey that you started a career with just $3 in the pocket and went to build global AI advisory firm. What mindset or belief helped you bridge that gap?
I don't think there is a mindset or a plan that I had in mind. I basically just fell in love with technology earlier on, and I started my career as a software engineer. So the cool part was I realized, I can write some lines of code on my computer and I can copy that line of code. Back then, we used to do like floppy disks and CDs and things like that. So I can copy that line of code on like hundreds of other machines and it can help hundreds of other people. So that was the mindset I had, that, technology is so powerful that I can impact thousands or tens of thousands of people. And as I started getting deeper and deeper into technology, I started learning more about more powerful technologies like AI, like blockchain, like any other cutting edge technology that comes on the scene. And it helped me to reach more and more and more people. So the mindset is no more than how can I help more people and improve their lives and businesses through technology.
Yeah, that's interesting because there are many developers out there who pretty much stick to the professional growth within the profession of being developer, and they don't go beyond that in terms of like business management, advisory. What was the turning point for you when you have this mindset of helping people, but at some point you realized, I actually want to do something more than just writing code. I want to work with people, I want to advise them on new technology back then and now AI.
It's a little bit of a curiosity on how the world works, because once you are able to do technology, then you say, who is influencing technology decisions? Mm-hmm. How are people using it? How people invest in technology? And that curiosity leads you to, upper layer and say, these people, business people are making a decision about technology. But it's quite interesting that these business people don't really understand technology. So you start to interact with these executives and say, hey, I understand you are trying to get to this goal and you are thinking that this technology will lead you to that goal. But do you understand that you are making a wrong decision here because of these elements? And then when you start to interact with these business people, you understand, if you want to make more impact with technology, you have to get out of actual day-to-day software engineering and work with the higher level people who influence the policy or who control the funding or who make the decision on hiring and also leading the teams. Because once you start to gain a lot of understanding, once you have more experience, you tend to start leading other people, right? So all of these things combined, if you are inclined to do that, it pushes you forward up, higher up in the chain. And then the last thing is, you need to have the self confidence to be able to interact with these people, and have the self awareness where you are knowledgeable, and also be open to negative feedback. Because if you don't know something and you are trying to push into an area which is outside of your comfort zone, you will get negative feedback. So a lot of people shy away from that and then come back to their original place, because they cannot handle negative feedback. So getting negative feedback, putting yourself outside of your comfort zone, that's where growth happens. So if you do that in any profession, doesn't matter whether it's technology, real estate, what have you, whichever field you go in, if you're able to make yourself uncomfortable, step outside of the comfort zone, start interacting with more influential people, more people who have attained more success than you, then you can rise above any situation, and go wherever you want to go.
You talk a lot about using inner potential to fuel external innovation. How do you think personal development connects to building transformative technology?
See, at the end of the day, the world does not give you what you want. We all desire success and accolades and recognition, but we tend to not look at ourselves as worthy of all of that. A lot of people can say, "Oh, no, 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 that's not true. Like I think I deserve it. I think I deserve the success." But when I really sit down with them and I say, "Okay, look in the mirror and look at the person you are reflecting in the mirror. Do you see that person as worthy of success, the level of success you desire right now?" They're like, "No, no, no, maybe in 10 years I will get there." And that 10-year cycle never stops. So we are always projecting in the future something will happen. So personal development, neuroscience, psychology, whatever you want to call it, the idea is that if you are able to change your mind and plant these seeds that you are worthy and you are the person right now who deserves that success, then the world starts to look at you with those eyes, and you start to get that recognition automatically. So it's not that the success lies outside of you, success lies inside. And the way to combine that with technology is through AI. You can really start to change your mind from inside out. And it's a very, very effective method. People go to therapy for decades and they still cannot break through. But when you understand these paradigms, in 30 days, you can become a new person.
Any particular tips about how to use AI to get there?
So we have this is a proven framework that is based on my 30-year research, and it was peer reviewed. It's a scientific method, and it was peer reviewed by the Mensa Foundation, and it's published in their scientific journal now. So it's cutting edge science. This is not something that is my thought process. It's actual science, and it's based on 5 pillars. Okay, the very first one is purpose. Whatever you are trying to do, many people may have heard of this book, Start with Why, from Simon Sinek. So this why is very important, because if you want to attain something and you want to make a big impact, you want to be very successful, there's going to be setbacks, there's going to be ups and downs. And if your why is not strong enough, if your purpose is not strong enough, you will give up. And finding this purpose is a lifelong journey for most people. Okay, 99.9% people come on this planet and leave without understanding what their life purpose is. But when you use AI, so the way that we use AI in the work that we do, we create a digital twin of a person. So this digital twin becomes a super intelligent version of you, which can help you find your purpose within 15 minutes. And then moving forward in your life or profession, you can take all kinds of small or big decisions aligned with your purpose. You can say, "Hey, I need to balance my budget. Can you help me balance my budget according to my purpose? I'm trying to do this deal with this partner. Can you help me figure out whether this partner is aligned with my purpose? I'm trying to hire this employee. Can you help me figure out if this employee is aligned with my purpose? So that's number one. Second is identity. So as I mentioned, our self identity is one of the most important things that we can understand and we can cultivate. And when we look at identity, identity is nothing else but a set of stories, a belief system that is happening in our minds all the time. Okay. And these stories are impacted by people around us, all the noise from the world, and most of it, 90% of it is all negative. Okay. So this is a proven research that an average human being thinks about 70,000 thoughts a day. Okay. And 95% of those thoughts are negative. Okay. I'm not good enough. I should have said this. I always fail, all of these things. But when you start to create this digital twin, it can start to feed you positive stories about yourself, because in every negative experience, there are two perspectives. One is a negative perspective, and another one is a positive one, which is the lesson that you learned from that negative experience. So when you start to shift the perspective, your mind starts to become more clear. It starts to understand, oh, this is why life is happening for me, not to me. The next one is relationships, because even if you have the right purpose, even if you have the right identity, human beings are not meant to do everything by themselves. We can be good at one or two things, but for everything else, we need help from other people. And most people are not able to cultivate these relationships. They don't know how to communicate. They don't know how to network with people. So with AI, you can turn yourself into a great storyteller, a great communicator, and also start to build relationships at scale. So this creates your community of people who can help you. I mean, look at us. I mean, you are in Portugal. I'm in Canada, but we connected somehow through communication channels that most people, frankly, don't even know exist. So that's number three. Number four is creativity. So if you have the purpose, if you have self identity, if you have the relationships, if you stick to your old methods, if you stick to status quo, and you always say, oh, this is how things are done, you will never be able to make progress. In order to make progress, you need to try new things. You need to be creative. You need to have the courage to do things differently. But the problem is, when you try to do things differently, there's a lot of risk involved, and people don't want to take risk. So with the digital twin that we create, what we can say is, hey, I want to try new things, but I don't want to take too much risk. Just give me 1% improvement, just 1%. Okay. So I want to be better 1% from yesterday, which does not involve any risk. It's comfortable. And when you start doing this continuously, day over day over day, if you start on January 1st, start improving yourself 1% a day, by the end of the year, you will be like 30 times better. Make sense? And the last one is your time and your peace of mind. So if you have if you have everything else going on, but you have like, you're working 12, 16 hours a day, your mind is not have the mental space to think about your strategic vision for your life or business. So this is where agentic AI comes in, which starts to give you your time back. So let's say if you're working 8 hours a day, with right systems and right automations, you can get at least 5 to 6 hours of your time back. So that gives you that mental space to think long term and really accelerate your growth. So these are the 5 pillars on how anybody can implement this and get the benefits.
Yeah, that's impressive and scary at the same time. And the reason I'm saying it's scary, just earlier today, I don't know, probably you didn't notice that because it was early morning in Canada, but there was an outage of OpenAI. And, like we also get used to using the tool. I was doing some research work and then it suddenly stopped working. And the feeling is quite weird. It's like you lost half of your brain or even more. It's like we get used to depending on it so much that when it's off, you feel like, you're a candy cat. So here, the reason I'm saying it's scary is because it looks like you're outsourcing many kind of important things in mentorship way, probably. But still, how do you address the problem that a person may get used so much on relying on, hey, tell me like what to do next? Hey, tell me if this is in alignment with my purpose.
The thing is very interesting that human beings tend to have this reaction to every technology that we think, oh, technology is outside of us. Okay. So imagine if I said, hey, Alex, can you imagine life without the wheel?
No,
Can you imagine life without fire,
no,
electricity?
no. Well, sort of, but it's not going to be good life.
Yeah, exactly. So the car, for example, in early 1900s, the car was invented. Okay. It was very unsafe and polluted. It was very polluting and spewed out smoke. People used to call it the devil's vehicle.
Mhm.
Okay. And obviously it was not safe, so the people got hurt, people got into accidents, and many of them were fatal, right? But today, just about 100 years from that time frame, today you can literally live in the cars, they drive themselves, right? So in order to understand how technology evolves, you need to understand the cycle of technology, how like chat gpt is literally 2 years old, right? So to say that we are getting dependent upon that, and if there is an outage, we freak out. Yes, that is true, but it's like an evolution of technology, and we are all participating in this evolution. There's gonna be ups and downs. There's gonna be like things that will be confusing, but at the end of the day, this is going to lead to much bigger innovations, much more comfortable life. These hiccups will be the price we are paying for future generations to make sure that this technology continues to evolve.
Yeah. Love it. Love it. Let's switch the gears and talk about enterprise, how enterprise adopt AI. So you've advised, Fortune 500 companies, and probably you've noticed where most enterprises actually, go wrong with trying to adopt AI.
Yeah. See, so AI has been around since the 1960s, and most of the major corporations that you know of, they have been using AI for past 20-25 years. That has been the main ingredient in their success. Okay. So, for example, Amazon came on to the scene in 1997. And before that, Walmart was the big gorilla in the retail industry, and nobody could touch Walmart. But Amazon took about 15 years to become the number one retailer. And that is not because, Amazon was really good and was able to ship your orders in the next day because they had an army of people and all of that. It's all because of AI. So similar thing with Tesla, SpaceX. Elon Musk is launching rockets and catching them in the air, not because there are like hundreds of engineers doing calculations in real time and saying, okay, how do I catch the rocket? It's all AI doing the job, right? So now when we talk about adoption of AI in enterprise, this is not new. This is ongoing. But with the chat GPT and these LLMs coming onto the scene, now it's democratized. Everybody can use it. You don't need a PhD in computer science to understand this. You can use it. The problem is that most people are using it very surface level. Okay, help me write a social post, help me write a better email, and they're happy with that. So think about when the gold rush happened in California. Somebody was just looking for gold on the riverbed, and they found a nugget, and they're like, wow, I'm rich now. They were happy, not realizing that right underneath their feet there's a big 10-kilometer deep gold ore that has probably tens of tons of gold in it. So once you truly understand the power of AI, then you start saying, hey, it's not about automating what I'm doing right now. It's about thinking that if I have to accomplish this goal, how will AI do it first? For example, if I want to make more money in my business, We think, oh, I need to first create a marketing department, I need to create a sales department, I need to do all of these things, get a customer onboarding, serve them, get referrals. So all these processes have been set up because humans are supposed to be good at one or two things, as I said earlier. Now we can create a fully automated AI agent that can say, okay, these are the type of people I'm looking for. Go find them, talk to them. If they're interested, book a call with me and even run the call demo. And if they want to talk to me, then set up another call and then I'll talk to them and I'll serve them. So completely eliminating a lot of the steps in between. Okay. And we are still at the infancy of this whole AI revolution. Within 5 to 10 years, the way that the world right now works will be unrecognizable, because people who can understand how to think AI first, they will be the leaders in this new world that is coming. And there will be very few steps involved in getting to your goal that you're trying to accomplish.
You're observing that when enterprises trying to adopt AI, they're making fundamentally wrong kind of decision in terms of picking the direction and approach or design. That's the point, right?
See, human society is built like a pyramid, right? 5% people at the top, they truly understand what this technology is, how to use it, how to implement it. But the rest of the 95% are just kind of like trying to swim, trying to learn how to swim, trying to learn how to ride a bike. So
Right.
they fall, they get hurt, then they get up and then say, okay, let me try it again. So that's how, it's not a mistake. But you ask me, how are they implementing it? That's what I noticed. They are implementing it. They're not fully leveraging it because they don't yet understand the full power of this yet. Okay. And when they come and talk to somebody like me who has been, in this game for like decades, and I understand the human mind and how it interacts with this technology, they get new insights, new way of doing things.
Those are the observations about the large companies, enterprises. What about the smaller companies? In your opinion, from your practice, how can these companies embrace AI without massive budgets or data science teams?
Again, on the smaller end, I see a lot of startups, a lot of AI startups coming up, and basically what they're trying to do is they take a use case and they create a wrapper around ChatGPT and say, hey, okay, this is my startup, this is my product, okay. But they don't realize that ChatGPT, Google, Microsoft, they already are working on these small use cases. Like, there are so many meeting note takers companies out there, and just I think maybe a week ago, ChatGPT announced a feature that now ChatGPT can record meetings. So all those companies can just be wiped out like that. Okay. So try to understand that you don't want to get in front of these giants and get steamrolled by just one feature release from OpenAI or Microsoft or Google. In my work, I focus on human alignment of AI, emotional aspect, emotional intelligence. These type of things will never be out of style and never be out of demand. And these will need regional solutions, because the culture in Portugal is not the same as culture in Canada. Okay. And OpenAI and Microsoft and all of these giants, they will not go and create customized solutions for this country, that country. Just like think of an example of Microsoft Excel. Yeah. So it has thousands of functions, thousands of features, but Microsoft is catering to the entire world with Microsoft Excel. You, as a Microsoft Excel expert, can sit down with a business person and say, hey, this is the type of spreadsheet you want to create. Let me help you create those macros and automated formulas and whatnot to create exactly what you're looking for, because I understand you intimately and I can sit down and understand your requirements. A Microsoft representative is never going to come and sit down with that person and say, let me help you figure out this Excel thing, right? Similar thing with AI. these giants are going to release feature after feature after feature, and AI is going to become smarter and smarter and smarter. So think about how you can create solutions that are fitting for your clients, where you are the uh, intermediate step between what raw AI. So what I call AI, ChatGPT, and others released by these giants, that's crude oil. Okay, so just like in Saudi Arabia, people found crude oil, but you cannot put crude oil in your car. You need a refinery, you need a pipeline, you need a gas station to pump gas, and that refined gas or gasoline or petrol, whatever you want to call it, that's what you put in your car, right? So assume the role of a refiner, assume the role of a pipeline, assume the role of a petrol station, a gas station for distributing the refined AI, and that's where the true value will be created by people who are involved in smaller companies.
Yeah, love the analogy. So it's more about creation value and a very narrow niche, right? The one that is so small that it won't be interesting enough for the giants, but it will be big enough for you to have, sustainable business. I've had many guests here from Europe and UK, and we've been talking about legislation and AI Act, and especially there are many interesting things happening in terms of compliance, governance of AI in UK and EU. Are you optimistic or concerned about how companies are handling bias, transparency, and accountability in their AI tools today?
Okay, so let's address it in multiple parts, right? One is bias. A lot of people talk about bias, and when I start to have a conversation with them and I say, okay, tell me a little bit about your favorite ice cream flavor. They say, oh yeah, I like chocolate or whatever. And then I ask them, is that bias or no? No, that's my personal choice. Okay, tell me about the favorite employee you have or the team member you have. What are their qualities? What do they? Oh yeah, they are always punctual. They are on time, and they get the work done. Some others are not that punctual. Okay, is that bias or not? No. So the idea is, when we start to talk about bias, you need to understand what AI is. AI is the true reflection of human consciousness. Okay, so it is picking up data that we produce as human beings. So if we are biased, AI is obviously going to be biased. You cannot have something created by human beings and not have it reflect how you think, especially a technology like AI. So the question about bias is not whether AI is biased, but how data is collected and how much bias is in the data itself. And then if we go to the root cause of this, then we can say, hey, how are humans thinking right now, and how we can fix that bias. This is not going to happen like overnight. This is not going to happen in the next decade. It's not going to probably happen in the next 5 decades. But slowly people will start to realize, oh, this is our bias being reflected in AI. And hopefully one day we will have less bias in human beings, and then AI will reflect that. As far as governance is concerned, as far as accountability is concerned, as far as regulations are concerned, all of this is very important stuff. And there's going to be a lot of back and forth, a lot of debate, a lot of opinions, and there is no one size fits all situation. If we are dealing with high risk scenario, let's say we are dealing with the national security, we are dealing with diseases or mission critical applications, that's high risk. Obviously more control is needed, more governance is needed, more accountability is needed. But if we are just looking at, hey, I want to create a marketing campaign for a company, you can take a more liberty there. You can push the boundaries of creativity there, right? So you need to understand what is high risk, what is low risk. And the last part is about the governments. I have strong opinions about this because I have worked with governments. I don't have any hope they will understand any of this. By the time they come up with something, technology will be like miles ahead of it. So, I mean, if a good example could be the GDPR regulation. I mean, they came up with this regulation in 2015. Imagine, that's how long it took them to come up with something that is suitable for the digital world. 2015, when every 5-year old had an iPhone in their hands. And what did they come up with? Oh, we are going to put these message boxes on all the websites and say, do you accept cookies? Yeah. So, this is not a knock on anybody, but that's just the way government works, right? So, I don't have any hope that they will truly understand what this is all about. But of course, they need to make an effort. I think this whole thing of governance and regulation will be led by people who truly understand technology.
I think we came to the same conclusion in the previous conversations. It's definitely something that should be happening, but so far, either too little, too late, or completely out of the picture. Let's come back to mindset and mindfulness discussions. What are some mental models or daily practices you personally rely on?
I use my own digital twin. I feed more positive stories into my mind. Then I have my daily meditation practice, yoga practice. And, the idea is that you really, this is a point in history where you need to learn how to do less. Okay. And this may sound counterproductive to most people who grew up in the hustle culture. Hustle culture tells you that you need to be like working 80 hours a week and going after your dreams, which is true, but it gives you a lot of mental tiredness. And now if you use AI effectively, you can achieve much, much more with little effort. Let's say in 1900s, you wanted to go and get groceries, which was the grocery store used to be like 20 miles from your home. So you had an option to walk or run, or maybe if you're lucky enough, you have a bicycle. So this whole trip will take you about like an hour or so, 2 hours, right? And you had to plan a week ahead. Oh, I need to go grocery shopping today, and it'll take 2 hours, and I need to prepare for it. And then came the car, and it's like now it's like 5 minutes. So you don't have to put that much effort into it, but you get better results, right? So you can start to shift your thinking and understand, okay, how can I use technology? How can I use everything that is available at my fingertips to do less but achieve more? In that doing, you get more peace of mind. Plus, when you have more peace of mind, your mind starts to see more opportunities that you did not even know existed.
So given that, and also the fact that now we use AI for, many things like writing codes, generating ideas, designing the products, brainstorming, pretty much all the aspects of our professional and personal lives are now more or less connected to AI. Let's think about or dream about the future. How do you envision the future of human AI collaboration evolving in 10 years?
So in 10 years, I think, pretty much a lot of things will be automated. Brainstorming, writing code. Writing code will not exist as a profession. Driving will be made illegal in 10 years by human beings. And eventually, if I can break it down for you, our world is based on two things, either a product or a service. So a business will sell a service or a product. Okay. At the end of the day, the outcome we are looking for is not the product or a service. We are looking for an emotion. That emotion could be convenience. That emotion could be joy. That emotion could be some sort of amusement. These intermediate products and services are designed to give us an emotion. And the stronger the emotion, the higher the price. Now imagine a world where I can use AI to directly create that emotion in your mind or your heart. So let's say you want to feel happy or you want to feel amused. There is one way that you can go out and buy a Ferrari for yourself and you'll be amused for a few days, or I can give you that emotion directly by utilizing these mechanisms.
Sounds like Black Mirror.
Well, So if you watch the movie Matrix, there's a scene in that movie where Neo had to learn kung fu,
Mhm.
and what they did was they plugged in a USB chip in his mind, and within 5 minutes he was a black belt.
Mhm.
So everything that we see in science fiction movies, Star Trek, Star Wars, all of that, slowly it starts to unravel in reality. So whether you want to call it black mirror, black magic, whatever you want to call it, but that's how technology evolves, and it doesn't care how you think about it. It just happens.
Manush, I'd like to wrap this episode up by coming back to today's reality from that interesting future. I'm not sure how I feel about it yet. So, in terms of what skills are in most demand right now in our AI first workplace?
If I can take the liberty of improving the question, what skills do you want to acquire today to thrive in this AI world? Maybe that's a better question. And I will say cultivate your communication skills, cultivate your emotional intelligence, cultivate your self-awareness. These are the things that are going to be immensely valuable. Increase your creativity, learn music, learn art. These are the things that will be more valuable.
So no hard skills,
No, I don't think so.
soft skills.
Soft skills, yeah. There will be, not in the very distant future. We all have experience like, in business meetings, we sit down, we look at a presentation, there's a person going through slides and sharing their ideas. Very soon, there's going to be a time where these presentations will be in the form of music, in the form of art, and other creative ways to get your ideas across. Because let's face it, PowerPoint is not the most interesting thing to sit through. But if you can present your idea in a more creative way through music or art, people will be more interested, and the person sharing those ideas will also be more expressive, because now they are sharing their ideas with a passion. You understand? So that's the kind of world we are going to move towards now.
Yeah, especially with those recent models that could generate pretty much Hollywood style movies and videos based out of single prompt. That's
Correct.
fascinating.
Correct.
Yeah, that's interesting. I kind of pictured sort of pitch movie.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's cool. Manush, I cannot thank you enough for being part of the show. That's been a great conversation about AI, about the future, and about challenges that connect to that. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. It was an honor.
For the listeners, thanks for listening till the end. Don't forget to hit the like button on YouTube and subscribe to the channel, or leave feedback, comments, and podcast platform that you're listening to this. And thank you, and see you in the next episodes. Bye-bye.